Hello and welcome to a new video. For today's video I am doing something that I've been meaning to do for a while. So as you can see here, I have this old Galaxy hot chocolate pot. I've been wanting to do something with it. I've been trying to come up with ideas of what to paint on it, and as you can see from my little doodles, I have settled on bugs. When we finished using this hot chocolate, which by the way wasn't that great unfortunately, I didn't want to throw the pot away. I really was like, something can be done with this pot. I just wasn't sure what for the longest time, and then I decided that it would make a really cute plant pot if I decorated it in some way. So as you can see, I gave it a white coating to try and like cover up a good amount of the details that was on it. Didn't need to be perfect because as you can see here, I'm going in with another colour as a second coat. I really like this colour. I think it's kind of like summery, nice vibes, and I thought it would look cute with a bunch of bugs on it. And then I made way too much paint, so I also covered up this stump that I have yet to figure out what to paint on it. So if you have any ideas for that, let me know. Maybe I'll do it and I'll share it with you guys. But yes, I wanted to do some bugs in the style of those like posters where it's got just a ton of different bugs on it with like their names, maybe a bit of information about them. So I started by just roughing some of them out in my book. I was thinking of mostly doing beetles because I think beetles look really cool, especially on these types of posters. I did throw in some butterflies as well as a centipede or millipede or whatever. I made it a lot longer than they are, so at this point I don't think it's either of them. It has a lot more legs than a typical one, so you know, I just thought it would be fun as a space filler. So yeah, I've always really liked those types of posters. You can get them for like plants as well, like flowers or mushrooms and fungus and whatever, and I've always been drawn to the bug ones, and for the longest time I've been wanting to make one of these in some way, like as a print or as something to just go on my wall. So I thought this would be really fun because it's on a plant pot, so it feels kind of fitting. And I just grabbed a range of different bugs from the internet, so I don't know what half of them are, so don't ask me. They're just bugs that I thought looked cool. And yeah, sketching them out in my book was a lot more fun than I thought it would be. And I'm also really glad I did do this because it helped me figure out how to simplify their shapes, as well as a good way of having them fit in together. As you can see, I've got some of them upside down as well as some of them just being upright because it's cute to have them all like crammed in together. So that's it for the planning in my sketchbook. Moving on to the pot again, I wanted it to have a sort of checkerboard pattern as a background. I didn't want to just leave it straight one colour. So it was a little finicky because obviously this is a rounded surface, but I did manage to use a ruler and get my guidelines on. I did kind of start to figure out with the ruler a good way of doing it because my ruler bends slightly. If I rolled the pot while I was drawing on it, it kept the straight line. It's still a bit janky, but it is a lot better than if I'd freehanded it. So yeah, now we have the grid. So I just got to work sketching some of the designs from my book onto the pot. This was so much fun. I was dreading how many I was putting on though. I was thinking about how much colouring I was gonna have to do, and for some of the bugs I was really looking forward to it, and others I was just a bit concerned. But yeah, I added more bugs than I drew in my book because I ended up having more blank spaces than I wanted. I think it ends up all right. I think there are a couple areas where it's maybe a little too crowded, but overall overall it gives the effect I like. My biggest concern with this is obviously the pencil lines. I wanted them to basically disappear, you know. I didn't want them to be there by the time the pot was done, which had me concerned because I really liked the background colour currently, but I wasn't sure if I could make that colour again. So yeah, that was one of my biggest worries, was how am I going to cover it up, because the pencil doesn't erase that amazingly on this surface. I do pretty much manage to get rid of it all by the end, and the acrylic markers cover up really nicely on the bugs themselves. Yeah, so I'm starting off with this butterfly here. Again, I don't know exactly what butterfly it is. I just saw a pretty one and I thought that would be really fun to colour in. So I started with this one because of how colourful it is. It had me excited to blend it all and just kick off this project. As you can see, I am using acrylic markers. These ones specifically are the Arrtx ones. It is a mix of a couple of their pens. They really worked perfectly for this. They blended really nicely and I got basically all the colours that I wanted in this project. You might be wondering, how am I going to use this as a plant pot, considering it is mostly made of cardboard? So what I end up doing is, it's my brother's idea, thankfully, because he's a genius. Because initially I was planning on just putting a plant pot inside this pot, so it was like a plant pot cover, but then he had the suggestion of why not use a plastic bag on the inside, and it would protect the cardboard and then it just becomes a plant pot. And I can give you the spoiler right now that it's working. It's worked perfectly. It's been this way for a while now and nothing's gone wrong. You will see at the end that it looks pretty much exactly the same. As for the bugs themselves, I didn't do that much planning in terms of where they went in relation to other bugs on this. It was mostly a matter of, do they fit together? That's all I was thinking of. And it wasn't until I got to colouring that I was thinking about how some of these colours might clash a little bit. They might not look amazing next to each other. Especially with this first butterfly here, I was thinking about how many colours are actually on there, that it might look a little gaudy or you know what I mean, maybe too much. I think it kind of works out in the end. There are a lot of colours on this piece, but I think they tie in okay. Majority colour used I think is blue, because instead of using a black pen for the black markings on all of the bugs, I used the darkest blue I had because I thought it just looked really nice. It kept all the pieces looking really colourful. There was just something so satisfying about the blue next to the bright colours of the bugs that I really liked it. And I used a dark purple to shade the blue, which gave it some definition, or which gave it some depth, but also gave it a bit of a flat look that I actually really liked, considering this is just meant to look like an illustration on a pot. I just think it worked really nicely. So yeah, I've always really liked these like bug pieces, like I mentioned earlier, which is kind of funny because I really struggle with bugs in real life. Like I can't stand them. There might be a couple I'm okay with, like butterflies and moths. I'm cool with them in person, but like the crawling ones, like spiders and beetles, even flies, actually, I can't stand them. They give me shivers. I can't handle them. So it's really weird, or at least I think it's really weird, how much I really like looking at bugs like this. Obviously there are a couple that make me so squeamish, like those like super long-legged ones that are in caves and stuff. I would put a picture on the screen, but someone got really upset with me in a previous video for showing a spider, so I won't. But if I can remember what they're called, hang on. It's whatever the ones that were in Harry Potter, the Goblet of Fire, whatever that spider was that Mad Eye Moody was playing with. Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up. I don't like them at all. Oh no, my battery's dying. No, why is it not charging? Oh, it is charging. Okay, cool. Ugh, problems. That's the spider. The spider cursed me. So what was the spider? A whip spider. Can't stand them. They freak me out. It's the long, leggy tendril. Ugh. Although I think they are technically a crab. Are they a type of crab? Am I wrong? Or are they a scorpion? Ah, yeah, not a crab. What was I thinking? They're kind of a tailless scorpion, which is funny because I actually, again, I can't stand them in person, but I really like scorpions. I think they're really cool. But this one, oh, I'm gonna have to close that. I can't look at it. That's gross. I just really struggle with long-legged things. Like there are also like these deep sea squids that have like such long tendrils that they kind of look like spiders. They make me feel so sick. I can't even look at them. Shall I look up what they're called? And you guys can look them up. I'm getting really sidetracked here. See, long-legged squid. Sorry. It's called a big fin squid. So again, I'm not going to put a picture up in case it upsets anyone. But if you look up a big fin squid, you'll understand what I mean. It grosses me out so much. Anyway, enough about that. So yeah, that's why I just think it's kind of funny that I wanted to do bug stuff. And I like bug stuff. And I like the idea of spiders. I think they're really, really cool. But I actually physically cannot stand them. Like that little one that I showed in my video the other day, you might have thought like, oh, it's crazy. That can freak me out as well. It freaks me out, not as much though, which is why I could film it and be near it, but it was bugging me. What was I saying? Yeah, so as you may have noticed, I didn't include any spiders on this, because I get enough of them in my everyday life that I don't want to I don't want them on my plant pot as well. Man, I have really sidetracked myself. What was I saying? I'm lost. I've lost what I was gonna say, so I'm just gonna let the video play for a bit while I figure out where my brain's at. So for the style of these bugs, I really wanted to keep them simple. I wanted them to look like illustrations, you know, I didn't want them to look realistic or anything. That's what I was going for, and I do think I got that for the most part, especially because I used blue instead of black. But I also think I didn't make them as simple as they could have been and how I initially envisioned them being, which I don't know. I think it would have looked cuter if they'd looked really simplified, like, you know, like the bugs in Animal Crossing. But I think I got carried away with using the image references and trying to get like the standout design of them. What's the word? But I kind of forgot that I was going to try and simplify them initially. So yeah, I don't know if my style came across. I think on this piece though, the bigger bugs came out looking the best. I think the little bugs are cute, but again, I think, as I mentioned earlier, they are what makes it look a little crowded in places, because I was really trying to fill those gaps, but I wasn't sure what with, so I just filled them with little beetles. I mean, I don't know what else I could have done. I could have left the gaps, but it was very noticeable how blank they were. Yeah, this is a really fun video for me. This is just extremely self-indulgent. I have this issue a lot where, you know, there's a lot of trash in the world. We get so much one-time use trash, I think is what it's called, that I so many times I don't want to throw it away, because I'm like, there's potential here, but I don't always know what for. So I was really happy that I did something with this one, even if it's just something small. And I highly recommend trying to reuse as much of your trash as possible. I've also started kind of junk journaling lately, which has also made me feel a bit better about trash consumption, and that's been a lot of fun lately. I wouldn't say the pages turn out amazingly because I'm very new to it and I don't always have the right amount of pieces that I want for like a certain page, but it's really fun. It feels kind of therapeutic as well, just cutting up trash and just gluing stuff in a book without it having to look pretty. Highly recommend it. And you know, there are a lot of tutorials and videos on YouTube and like Instagram and whatnot that are really good inspiration, so I highly recommend looking into it if you also have an issue with throwing trash away. But yeah, I'm just really glad that I got to make this into a video, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. I'd really like to make more like upcycling videos in the future if I can think of anything. So if you guys have any recommendations for what I could do with trash, I would love to hear them, because I'd really like to make more videos like this. If I can help encourage other people to do it as well, then, you know, that's great. I hate trash and I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well, and it just kind of sucks how that all works in the world. Yeah, save your cute packaging, save those like pretty boxes and cut them up and turn them into something else. And if you do end up doing anything like that, I would love to see if you want to like tag me on Instagram or anything, because that would also be amazing if you want to give me ideas with stuff that you've done as well. I would just greatly appreciate that. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy all of that kind of thing. It would be nice to do more of this in the future. So with this centipede, I guess, because that's what I used as reference, I was kind of dreading it because of how long I made it, and I wanted it to look nice. So I tried using multiple different colours. I didn't make it realistic, as you can tell with the colours, because I wanted it to be really colourful. But I don't know how I feel about it. I liked it initially, but now I feel like it takes up a lot of space that might have looked nicer with a different bug or beetle, because the whole point of it was to have it take up space. I wanted it to be interesting and just have this fun shape amongst the bugs. But I think it might be my least favourite part of this project, which again is a shame that it's so big. But yeah, I don't know. It looks okay, but because of how, again, I tried to simplify them, I think it looks a bit weak. So now I'm at the point where I am painting in the checkered squares, and I hadn't planned at all what colour I wanted the alternating square to be. So I started off with this pink because I hadn't used it much in the piece, so I thought it would help the bugs stand out, but I did not like it at all. I thought it looked gross. So I swapped to this yellow because I thought it was close enough to the background colour that it would create a nice subtle change between the checkered squares whilst also not taking too much away from the bugs, because I wanted them to be the center focus. And while I have used a fair amount of yellow in this piece, I do think the yellow bugs still stand out quite nicely against it. And then going in with this kind of like coral red pen, I think it looks nice with the colors I've chosen, and it just helps fill out a lot of those spaces, and I think it ties it all really nicely together. So I am happy with how this turned out. It isn't entirely what I envisioned, which is why I hesitate a little bit, but ultimately I am really happy that I did this and that it's bugs. And I did manage to rub out a lot of the remaining pencil marks, although there are still like a little bit of ghosting, which is a shame. But I ended up putting this cute little plant. I don't know what type it is. I have never known from the moment that I bought it. Well, actually, that's a lie. I think I knew at one point, but it didn't have a name on it when I bought it. It was just called like this little cute, I think they called it a succulent, because it was this really tiny nubbin, and it's grown really nicely. It's just really cute and peculiar. I just put it in the pot, and the pot is doing nicely. Like, there's been no leaking, nothing's gone wrong with it. It's holding up really nicely, and it just lives on my window with my cute little plant. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out, and it feels better because it's recycling or upcycling. So yeah, a bit of a weird video, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. I want to say a huge thank you if you made it this far in the video, and also I want to say a massive thank you to my Patreons: Disby, Finn Carter, Grimclow, The Waffle of Life, Non-Toxic, Saint Nix, LP, Kira May, Kay, Joanna, Mila, Pretty Rotten, R.A. Foxy, Joanna Snake Moon, Humble Frogs, Local Fishkeeper, Mould Ghoul, Farrar Ware, Sun Arts, Molly Marula, Scout Radley, Sammy Bear 127, Kenzania, Jade S, Arrow, Charlie, Malorus, Balmora Blues, Cindy King, Art by Lavender, Angel of the Woods, Rainbow Tea, Breaded Nuggets, Learns, Humani, The Moth Bug, Nox, Catbird House, The Tormented Shadow, Sweet and Hopeless, Pocket, Jordan's Tiny Planet, The Coffee Rain, Black Jackal Art, Leela Loves You, Halachu, Faith, A. Wendu, Cososcobs, Wolf and Wares, Ronnie, Olivia Gadbor, Heather F, Cheris Needham, Rotting Lettuce, Binixery, Cyrus Orion, Lolo, Brianna McGraw, Malbon Designs, Gamut Girl, Dodo, Catberry Studio, Solar Tortoise, Venom Horror, Auden, Red S Lily, Hayley, Sienna G, Stephanie, Lady Ratbird, Clown, Fia, Greenfinch G Illustration, Lynn, Cody, Pobbles, Kaleidoscope Arm, Cloud, Cleo, Redders, Ziutka, Chelsea Amson, Beetle Ghost, Artsy Ghost, Melisandra Sinclair, Bria Washington, Hurrier, June, Dakota Garcia, Elithra, Manon, Perpy, Lily Likes Art, Valent Dykes, Rona, Quill, Malin, and I am a Yertle. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, and I am currently working on another video that should be out for you guys soon, so I will see you then.